This is Finland, and this is Finland, November 1939. Very cold. Ooh, yes. Ooh. Besides the cold, the night's darkness looms over a vast, snow-covered forest that looks just as endless as the piles of dead comrades stacked all around you. Oh yes, you are all that is left of yet another decimated Russian platoon sent out to kill or capture one particular Finnish sniper. His name, Simo Häyhä, or better known as the White Death, or the Kollaan kauhu, meaning the terror of Kollaa. I'm sorry, lonely Russian soldier, I know this doesn't sound good. Maybe you can just… Oh shit, there goes another one. Anyone else fancy a go? Anyway, let's wind it back to the beginning of things. Before the outbreak of war, Simo grew up in a large Lutheran farming family with 8 children. As a kid, he helped out his family on the farm, tending livestock, working fields, and cutting wood. You know, Bear Grylls kind of stuff, but then in minus 40 degrees. Oh, again. Brr. Simo's story didn't begin with the war. His upbringing, family background, and the harsh geography played a crucial role in shaping who he became. And thanks to our sponsor MyHeritage, Simo can trace his roots to the Häyhä family from Rautjärvi, Finland. With one click, Instant Discoveries TM fills in missing pieces. Birth certificates, military files, even old portraits that survived the war. And if the photos are black and white or damaged, MyHeritage restores them, adds colour, and can even animate the faces. Zooming out, we see Simo's entire family line come together across time. And MyHeritage didn't just build his tree, it revealed real history. For example, we found the marriage record of Juno Häyhä and Katrina Vico, the parents of Simo. They married in Rautjärvi on October 13th, 1889, living just a few farms apart in the same small village. We also discovered that Simo's brother Antti died fighting in the Battle of Antria as a soldier of the anti-communist Valkoinen Armea. Another brother, Johanna, was wounded at the Battle of Joutseno. MyHeritage also highlighted the significance of the 3 words on the bottom line of Simo Häyhä's gravestone, a powerful patriotic slogan: Koti, uskonto, isänmaa, home, religion, fatherland. The motto reflects the hierarchy of values that guided many Finns, especially those in the rural areas. Start your own family tree with MyHeritage 14 days free. Click the link in the description. After some time, Simo completed his compulsory military training in the Finnish army. However, he kept himself active in training by joining the Civil Guard. His agenda was basically Farm Simulator during the week and Sniper Elite 5 over the long weekend. I guess you can say it didn't take a very long time before people started to notice Simo's scouting capabilities and his insane level of marksmanship. He happily showed off his ability to fire his bolt-action rifle 16 times under a minute while maintaining complete accuracy. Oh, FYI, in case you are not familiar with weapons, gay, reloading a 1939 bolt-action rifle is like opening and closing a frickin' pet carrier just to get the next round ready to fire. And this guy did that in less than a minute, 16 times. And I did not mention you also need to slap in an extra 2 5-round magazines as well. Holy shit, this guy is above human. Behold the Finnish messiah of death and destruction, shout out with the prayers and thoughts for those who are about to die, and with those I mean the Soviet army. LOL! So, by the time war did break out, Simo was more than ready to immediately respond to a swift Russian military invasion. Actually he was more or less on a skiing trip and figured out shit hit the fan 24 hours later. Despite being late for work, he immediately reported to his commander Arne Juutilainen, who was at the front line sitting in a rocking chair giving orders like some sort of Finnish après-ski version of a mob boss. During the following days, his commander sent Simo out on reconnaissance missions and for support of infantry defenses. Within little time, word got back to the commander that any place Simo went, everything that looked Russian died. His long white overcoat made him difficult to spot while he quickly moved around the lines on his wooden skis. Additionally, the measures he took to prepare concealed positions were completely out of this world. For starters, he sprinkled the area around his rifle with water, turning the snow around him into ice. This way, when firing, the muzzle blast would not kick up any snow particles, revealing his position. I know. Smart thinking for a farm boy. He also kept a bit of snow in his mouth so his breath wouldn't be visible. While chilling in his top-down igloo with a George Floyd invisible breath, he waited patiently for the Russian infantry to just show up. And when the Russian infantry did show up, Soldier after soldier was shot dead. It wasn't uncommon for him to kill between 10 to 20 guys on the same day. With kill counts like this, Simo started to gain notoriety with the Soviet army, who in turn was getting quite frustrated with the whole situation. As a response, they sent in multiple counter-sniper teams to eliminate the threat. Yeah, why don't you guess what's going to happen next? Everyone got killed. At this point, the Russians didn't even receive a sighting report locating the Finnish sniper. Therefore, the Russians dubbed him Bielaya Śmierć, the White Death. This complete onslaught went on for a while longer, until the Soviets finally had enough and decided to just move their troops around the region where Simo was operating. Now, you don't need to be a tactical genius to understand that a plan like that isn't going to work. It's like a brain surgeon saying to his patient, "We are just going to ignore this baseball-sized tumor on your forehead, look somewhere else, and hope for the best." Well, surprise, surprise, the best, with a guy like Simo around, is pretty fucking far from the best. When he figured out the Russians were chicken-shitting their way out of the area, he appointed his sniper buddies to grab their skis and start looking for the enemy. While skiing down the snowy slopes, it didn't take a lot of time for them to find the enemy. They dismounted and took positions overlooking a Russian camp, where soldiers were eating, drinking, and celebrating a day without dying to an invisible ghost. Oh yes, the irony. These celebrations, along with the soldiers themselves, were short-lived, as one after the other fell face down in the snow, dead as a dingo. With all this carnage, it became pretty clear for the Soviet commanders Simo wasn't going to back down. So, they intensified their efforts again, trying to take him out. This time they sent out forward observers, calling in artillery to fire a barrage in the general direction the Soviets expected Simo to be. Since these tactics were still based on a bunch of guesswork, the artillery failed to score a single hit. In an act of ultimate desperation, the Russian commanders hoped that sheer numbers by sending in waves of men would overwhelm the Finnish sniper team. Instead, it created a snowball effect. Sorry for the pun. And Simo's kill stats were going absolutely bonkers, even by his own standards. He shot and killed 25 enemy soldiers in a single day, some of them operating as counter-snipers sent out just to look for him. Many of these snipers were shot because their telescopic scopes created glares. This was another problem Simo eliminated for himself by using iron sights, again, like a boss. Whole platoons and even companies struggled with casualty rates just because of this one guy, a guy who they couldn't even fucking see. The Soviets reportedly placed bounties on Häyhä's head, aiming to incentivize soldiers to take him out. Although when everybody around you is dead and you're sent in to kill the guy, I'm not sure one needs any extra incentive to get the job done. The winter war between the USSR and Finland dragged on for multiple months, and despite being outnumbered by more than 1 million soldiers, the Finnish army inflicted huge losses to the Soviet ground army. Despite the success, death, and carnage created by Häyhä and his men, eventually a Russian soldier spotted his position and fired an explosive bullet into his jaw, basically turning the lower part of his face into a sloppy Joe. With half of his head being sort of not there, Simo fell into a coma for 11 days. Finnish field medics and doctors stabilized him and performed surgery to remove shrapnel and prevent infection. When he woke up, he learned the winter war with the USSR was over. The Finns basically had to hand over a bit of land to the Russians in order to keep their independence. Maybe the 400,000 plus casualties inflicted upon the Soviet army helped a bit there. Besides having half of his face blown off, there was more sad news for Simo. His farm was actually on the land that was given away. But the Finnish government thought Simo was very helpful in killing many invaders, and so they just gave him a new farm. Since he killed more than 500 plus guys, they better have given him a big-ass farm. They also passed him an honorary rifle and a bunch of medals to show bravery, balls, heroism, etc. Although we from Mitsi think he should have received a lot more credit. That's why we have set up a fitting ceremonial occasion to give this man some proper medals. Thank you, Simo Häyhä, for your service and for showing a bunch of bravery. Therefore, we would like to honor you by presenting these Mitsi medals. First is the Simo Slayer. Then we have for you the Finnish Hymn Medal, the Glacial Superiority Medal, the Simo Medal, the Dipolar Disorder Medal, the Red Army Dead Army Medal, and the medal for just being an absolute fucking end boss. Later in the war, the Finns buddied up with the Nazis fighting the Soviets. Maybe they became best friends because Finland invented the swastika first. Not that it has anything to do with this story, but we are just addicted to Nazi references, just like the rest of the internet. Get over it. Anyway, despite Finland whipping their behinds with the Moscow Peace Treaty, Simo did not return to frontline service. If he would have, he probably single-handedly would have skied into Moscow, a middle finger in the air while machine gunning every motherfucker on Red Square. But instead, Simo just laid back and just did some farming, still like a boss, and he lived to an old age of 96. Exactly what you would expect. The world's most deadly sniper was never very talkative about the war, but he once said, "I did what I was told as well as I could." Well, Simo, I think you did well enough. Again, thanks to this video sponsor, MyHeritage. Curious where your story begins? Start your own family tree with a 14-day free trial. Click the link below and discover your roots today.